Okay, so here we are. It's November 13th. I began my wheat belly diet journey on October 11th. So I'm 2 days over 1 month on this diet. And I just wanted to check in. I haven't checked in for a while. I got home from New Mexico and I was busier than a one-arm paper hanger for a while getting back into this routine. I had successfully conquered the routine of New Mexico, walking the dogs, feeding the dogs, and living in a different house. And now I'm back. And so, didn't have a chance to check in. But fortunately, I have stayed on the wheat belly diet. And let's see, I would say the main things that I've been aware of is I had a suspicion that my congestion and this tremendous mucus and constant runny nose had to do with food. And the reason I speculated that was because on the juice fast, my nose cleared up. Everything, cleared up. I had clear sinuses and could breathe very easily. And I thought this has to do with what I'm ingesting. So let's think, what could it possibly be that I'm allergic to? So I started Googling wheat because I always had this little suspicion that wheat might have been the allergen. And I found Dr. William Davis's wheat belly diet. And indeed, he goes through all the different bad effects that our current wheat has on the body and the human nervous system and the physiology. And so I thought I'd give it a try, and lo and behold, the mucus was greatly reduced, and I could continue to breathe easily. And that was my constant experience. Was every once in a while during the day, I would just breathe through my nostrils and go, "Oh, all this wonderful air it's so different. It's so." It's such opulence. It's got to be good for you. It's got to be much better than not getting the proper oxygen. And I thought, I nailed it. It's wheat. That's certainly a problem. However, I did get some mucus when I added a lot of dairy because the wheat belly diet also has heavy on cheese and milk and cream. So I cut that out. And then it subsided again. So it was very quickly that I eliminated most of the dairy, and once again I could breathe clearly. So I came to the realization or the conclusion that it was wheat and milk, wheat and dairy, and for the most part, I am excluding dairy, although I do add some dairy just for budgetary considerations because it's cheaper than the alternatives on occasion. So let's see. I scribbled some notes here which are totally not legible. I haven't weighed myself since I've been back. I feel like I'm maintaining my weight, but we'll see. One of these days, it's a little cold in the morning here. So jumping on the scale sans clothes is, it's more than I've been able to do. But maybe I'll take the scale into the bathroom, which is a little warmer, and weigh myself there in the morning. But I think, I'm maintaining my weight. I haven't been exercising, and that was true for the last at least maybe 10 days on vacation. I was walking the dogs, but I wasn't running. And also I only went to the gym once so far or twice and exercised. So I really need to get back into the exercise swing of things because that always helps me with, everything. It's just a good practice. And, the other thing is that since I got back, I've been on an extremely strict budget. I have had a wonderful time away from home. I was away from home for 7 weeks in the past 4 months. But when you're away from home, unexpected expenses come up and it's a budget breaker. So now that I'm back, I'm really on a tight budget, cruising into my next pay period, which is the 20th. And so I've really had to be very scrupulous about how much money I spent on food. But fortunately, when I got back, I went to Walmart and I got a big bag of almond flour, which was expensive. It was almost 12 bucks. But that was a really good investment because what I'm doing now is the wheat belly diet. I'm finding, and I think it's probably pretty true, is that for the most part I have to cook from scratch, which is a very good practice. It's also very time consuming, but rewarding because the type of food that I'm getting is, it's that homemade, satisfying, um, budget, food. Like last night I made an apple cake. I had, some applesauce frozen from Gary's Trees and homemade applesauce, and I made with almond flour, a little coconut flour, some eggs. I had some eggs left over from another dish. What else did I? There's a little honey in there. I used a little Truvia. I used all kinds of different sweeteners in there, and it's delicious. And then I had some slivered almonds that they showed on the recipe that I put on top, and it's a tremendous cake. If I went and bought this cake, I'd be very pleased, with its, you know, beauty and taste and all that kind of good stuff. And I made an icing. I made a vegetable shortening, half and half. I used that, and powdered sugar icing with vanilla. And to put some of that icing on there, oh my goodness, just a little piece. It's such a good, satisfying dessert. And the nice thing about the Wheat Belly diet is you can eat a lot of fat. And for the most part, most of my diets I've been on, you can't eat fat. And this is just a nice change up, And hopefully I'll be maintaining my weight. And, it'll be a good way to go. But so that's mostly what I wanted to report. I think it is going to be a good budget diet simply because I have to make so much stuff from scratch, and I find that for the most part, unless you use really outlandish ingredients, hard to find expensive ingredients, if you stick to your basics, like I've been eating a lot of cornbread. I bought a big bag of cornmeal. I looked at the different prices and I got the bigger bag of cornmeal. And if I just keep making cornbread, it's such a great way to start the morning. Cornbread with some vegetable shortening toasted in the oven with a cup of coffee with half and half. It's a good way to go. So, and also I got corn chips, I made some hummus. I want to get some salsa to add to that. It's kind of a rudimentary, basic kind of diet that a lot of people in the world eat. And so in terms of budget, in terms of weight, I'm just going to keep my eye on the weight. I'll report in on that how that's going, as long as I exercise and don't overeat. And that's the other thing I find. I'm not overeating because the food is very satisfying, and I'm done. Like after I finish eating, I'm like done. I'm not like eating big quantities. So that's good too. And I am eating my vegetables, green beans and carrots, and I am eating my vegetables. So that's it for today. Just wanted to stay current, and things are going good with the Wheat Belly diet after 1 month of experience.